One of the big changes to the classification, this is what obstetric perineal laceration repair in ICD-10 now has been given some specific guidance in ICD-10. This is one of those topics where they've taken the topic and they've given us a bit of guidance and a bit of code and clinic questions to help explain how they want it reported. Here you have a bit of a summary, and they're telling us now that if the root operation invoking guideline B 3.5 about the root operation for excision repair or inspection are reported on overlapping layers of the musculoskeletal system, the body part specifying the deepest layer repaired, inspected, or excised is coded. The example, second-degree laceration, perineal muscle, the deepest layer perineal muscle only is coded and not the more external layer. Let's have a look at how that works. And what this really is, that it's really telling us that the two guidelines that were in effect, we have the overlapping body layers, guideline B 3.5, but the one that many people used during our training and learning for ICD-10 in this category was the multiple procedures, whereas if the same root operation is performed on different body parts as defined by distinct body part values. And this will become more clear. You probably recall this from your education, but let's have a quick look. You may not have done it this way, but in the beginning, during our education process, this is how we coded, many of us coded, and that's why I use the phrase commonly coded, obstetric perineal lacerations. First degree, 0 WQ, W being the anatomic regions, Q being the repair, N being the perineum, second degree and muscle, 0 KQ, K being the character for muscle. But when we got into third and fourth degree, following the B 3.2 guideline and not the B 3.5, many of us used multiple procedure codes to code third degree, showing that the second character, K, is for the body system of muscle, and the third character of D is the GI system representing the anal sphincter that was repaired. And for the fourth degree laceration, many of us used 3 procedure codes for the muscle and the 2 distinct areas within the GI system for the repair. But in fact, Coding Clinic is now giving us some very, some very specific guidance that they would like first degree perineal laceration coded as 0HQ9XZZ, repair of the perineum skin, external approach. And you can see how this is different than how many of us did it using the example I showed you previously. For second degree laceration, Coding Clinic and the cooperating parties would like this reported as 0KQ M0ZZ, and you can see that that's exactly how we did it previously. And the real difference becomes under third and fourth degree lacerations, where we using the other guideline would have used 2 procedure codes. Coding Clinic is telling us that we can be more efficient about our reporting and use the deepest layer guideline instead, 0DQR0ZZ, and for fourth degree laceration, using a single code instead of the 3 codes that we might have previously used. So keep that in mind. Now here the question to Coding Clinic is, the patient had a completely normal delivery except for an obstetric third degree. Is it correct to code? And Coding Clinic tells us to assign the deepest layer. And their defense is using guideline 3.5, and I have pointed out that it says for the deepest layer of the musculoskeletal system. And the real problem that folks have pointed out is that the deeper layers are not in fact of the musculoskeletal system, meaning character, I believe it's K, that in fact it is character D, meaning that you've gone into a different body system. Be that as it may, Coding Clinic is asking us to report these this way. It's an efficient way to do so, and that's really where we'd like to leave it, and that's the advice that I would like to offer to people to follow.